Yes.
So for the past few videos, what do you guys learn?
Yeah, it was mostly the last video was very interesting. The last one was with of the history of Wing Chun, and was also interesting. And the last one is about Buddhism, and it's very interesting too, because it's like you explain it. It's yeah. I sometimes if somebody get mad, and I say to him, "Why do you get mad? Do you like to be mad?" No.
Raymond,
Why?
I think your
Yes.
is your mic wiggling because it create noise there.
Oh, sorry.
Couldn't hear what you said.
Can you hear me now better?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I say to somebody, if somebody get mad, do you like to be mad? No. Why you go? Why you are going to be mad? Because you do it yourself. And that's what you a little bit, I think you said. That's nice to hear.
Okay. Yes. You want to say something, Hendrik?
No.
Just go ahead.
No.
Okay. Okay. I found the first one about history was really great again, because you made so many videos about history and the history of Wing Chun. And yes, you know, talking about history, you know, people talk about Mui and Chisim, all that stuff, and the burning down of Shaolin, which was not at that period, which was 100 years ago, for example. Not for example, it happened. And yes, and the people making up minds and ideas and talking about this is this and that, and you know, and this is also not trackable. You know, nobody can prove that Mui really existed, or other Chisim, or all those Shaolin monks and nuns. So that's for history. The other thing which I found really interesting was about the phenomenon. So we all see ourselves as as the only ones, as individuals who take ourselves too serious. And yes, and this is what happens when people take oneself too serious, instead of seeing oneself as a phenomenon which makes you live more free. We start to follow this. My teacher is my teacher's teachers. You know, this guy and that guy, and instead of being, you know, more free, liberated, as you explained in the video, and see things more clearly. And yes, as long as we see ourselves as something special, then that's really problematic. And yes, I found it really interesting, and I was really astonished about it, because I never thought about it like this. And you make me think about many things. When we get mad or something like that, we just have to be calm and try not to get mad, which is not easy at all, because we are all human, and you know, we all make mistakes, and you know, we are not permanent in this world, so we all must die one day. And we should live, you know, yes, with peacefully together. I find it really great. Thanks for sharing that.
The idea of that sharing is actually to show Wing Chun is very deep stuff, and it's also very broad. In the history, you see people don't understand history. And you see that in the reality, Mui or Jisim or all those are just stories people make 100 years ago. It never exists. That's why you say, oh, Wing Chun is passed by Mui to Red Boat. And somebody say Wing Chun is passed by Jisim to Red Boat. And then you start to say, oh, Jisim is there for in the Red Boat doing this and that, and Mui is there in the Red Boat doing this and that, and then they get into the anti-Qing. Well, you can see right now is 99.999% of people do not know what is the truth in the history. And that is why it end up that nobody be able to pinpoint what is the technical uniqueness of Wing Chun. So people spiraling around on the fiction character. And because they spiral around on the fiction character, they won't be able to know what is going on. And which is what leads to today's problem in history. So I believe that people say, oh, this is from Jisim passing to the Red Boat, or the Mui passed to Red Boat, or even get to Wong Hua Po, Liang Yi Tai, Liang Zhan. Well, in a folk belief sense, we respect, oh, you say that this is passing through Liang Zhan and Wong Hua Po. Yes. But in a reality sense, when you want to face MMA, Xi Xiaodong, and today's sports science, there is no signs of even what Liang Zhan is passing. For example, judo. Judo is from jiu-jitsu. You can track it out, and all the technical uniqueness. You can see how jiu-jitsu turned into judo, who doing that. Everything is clean. But with all this, Wong Hua Po, Liang Zhan, Mui, if I may ask a question, if it is so true that it is Liang Zhan, the king of Wing Chun, like everybody believes, how come Liang Zhan or Liang Zhan student never we heard that involved in the breathing and the core stability handling? This is how serious it is. Okay. But on the other side, if you go to Shaolin, you go right away to Shaolin Short Strike, the classic, and Qi Chi Guang style, you know right away there. It is there, the basic. So on one way, you kind of respect the folk belief, the folk tales, and all this character. But then you cannot take that as reality. Say today's Wing Chun, all the lineage, you see people violating the handling of the core, left and right. And now if you want to face judo, don't even talk about in fighting, in the war, but in Olympic, you cannot face them. Because you don't have the core there. That's why in MMA, people who practice judo can go to MMA and it is be able at least to perform. Can Wing Chun perform? We see it already. So this is the part of the reality. Asia is not going to solve that problem because it is like being dead for hundreds of years. And the mentality of the teaching of Wing Chun today, majority you can look at that is a stereotype, which like Tang Hao said, you guys are promoting the boxer librarian type of thinking. So 100 years ago, Tang Hao already said that. And as you see that, Tang Hao even go to the Shaolin temple in Songshan to check on the classic, to check on the classic. 1 second. I need to check this focus table. So you can see how thing is reality and fiction. If this is not solved, there's no Wing Chun in the real martial art world. This is how serious it is. So you have the folk tales up here. You have something real under there. The folk tale cover up whatever real. Like you look at Grandmaster Yip Man's the interview. He talked about receiving. You know that receiving thing is from Shaolin Sword Strike. Is that real? So it's real, right? And like Grandmaster Yin Man saying that, well, this is from Songshan, even though he get into Mui and so forth. But that bit and piece is left over there, which is covered by up on this folklore here. And actually, people at their generations is trying to clean things up too, but they don't have information like us today. Like today, if you go to China, you ask about robbing angle, Chong Kok, my son, say why? Everybody know what it is. But then that technical thing do not link with the folklore. Folklore cannot explain it. But Shaolin Sword Strike can explain it. So it is like we are in an aeroplane, and the aeroplane have problem. We landed in an island, so we live there here on, and our descendant, our kids' descendant, have all the technology and heard about this is what the grandfather said about, but they already don't know where we come from. That's what it is. So sure, now lineage story, you want to respect that. But you need to know that that is just a folk story. Like today, people say, oh, Bruce Lee, Wing Chun, Bruce Lee learned Wing Chun, and so forth, so forth. But the truth is, Bruce Lee, 1969, already don't practice Wing Chun, as he's writing in his letter, right? So that part have to be sorted out. Otherwise, you got into a really serious disaster. Like today, you see so many videos and so many made up of history, and people practically only can talk in the surface. And Tai Chi, Shaolin. But then, wait a minute. Shaolin do not have martial arts to the degree of the Ming army. That's why, like in my book, the Kung Fu 1560, I say that Yi Da-yu went into the Shaolin and challenged them. And Yi Da-yu know that they don't have the art anymore. So Yi Da-yu bring 2 monks with him to the army, Ming army, and train them. And then these 2 monks later went back to Shaolin and teach the Shaolin. So right now, if we say, oh, this Wing Chun is from Shaolin, which Shaolin? Do you guys see what I'm talking about now? So that is one thing. Another thing on this mindfulness, mind power thing is much beyond that. So the technology is there. It's just that if we do not careful on, if we are too quick to jump into our stuff, do not examine that this is a phenomenon. Like today in people practice of Vipassana, saying that, oh, when the anger comes, you watch the anger and then the anger will go away. It's impermanent. Is that true? That is just the first step. You will not get away from the anger if you do that. You have to know that the guy who is watching that anger to come and go also is impermanent. You have to get rid of the guy who watched that anger come and go, because the guy who is watching is also come and go. Am I right? You have to go to that type of a depth in order to help yourself. So there's level and level going down there. That's the teaching of the Buddha. Today, entire world, 99.9% or 99.99% of so-called Vipassana is like Wing Chun. It's a made up that people do not know all this level and level of depth there. They never went there. That's why they cannot say, they cannot tell. For example, the 6 core element. Well, I can tell the world 6 core element is created in United States of America. I created it. Why do I create it? Is to go through the entire process 1, the beginning process 1, and then like engineering, classify it. So the first is physical body. You all both go have studied with me, taking my course in the 613.3 and the 4th slope. All right, now let's go through it. You need to know your body before you can move. You need to know your mind, which is the awareness. So it's not only you can see that this anger come and go, you're aware of this anger come and go, and you're also aware of the person who is watching this thing come and go. That's not thinking, that's not philosophy, that is not intention. There is awareness. All right. You guys go through all the drills, right? Now, the third one is what? Breathing. Breathing, you have the panting, you have the lower natural lower abs breathing, 2C state, and so forth. Now you know that it linked to what? Your intra-abdominal pressure, which is also linked with your chest pressure and also eyes pressure. No kidding. So older people or people like me who have a diabetic, not like me, was born with diabetic, you cannot go too much on weightlifting or those high intensity fighting, because if like we have a high eyes pressure, that can cause problem. So you have to be careful that people who have this issue, you don't want them to train hard in the high level of momentum martial arts. Now, only you know this breathing, you know this intra-abdominal pressure, then you can get the chi level. Because now you can sense how the sensations of your body or the so-called energy, the chi flow of your body. If it flow differently or it gets stuck there, you know it feels uncomfortable. Now, why is chi after breathing? Well, if you do not know how to handle your intra-abdominal pressure, how the hell are you going to sense your body? You can. If you are, say, stop breathing, your intra-abdominal pressure is high. How can you sense other thing? So let's not kidding. Whether you have that qi gong, the qi flow or not, we know. Now, like the force flow, only after you go for can sense the body, your breathing is proper, then when you do the force flow, you can feel it, because there is no high level of disturbance in your body, in the physical mind, body, breathing, to hindrance you to feel that force flow. Am I right? Only after that, you can deal with the momentum. That's why, how come I know there's a problem with the core? How come you don't know? You want to mess around with the momentum, you have to deal with the core. Am I right? So the 6 core element is there in the Shu Lim Tao 1850, but you need to develop one by one up there. You cannot just take my video like in the the video which is been there for 10 years and 15,000 people watch it. You cannot mimic me. Why? Because you don't have that development of the 6 core element. Now, I'm not bullshitting you here. I'm not telling you guys that I'm the king of Wing Chun. I'm just telling you that this is basic. The ancient have this basic, and it developed level by level, and now you guys, like Raymond just completed the force flow class. Well, Raymond, what do you think? Am I bullshitting you, or I'm here analyze the thing to share with you, to show you what it is?
That's true.
What you develop today after what, 6 months? Is that what I share with you here?
Yes, it's exactly what you say. So you have to go through the classes to even understand what it is. Without that, it's mimicking. It's not. You have to go through the classes like you say, and then bit by bit you go through the classes and you understand what you are doing. If you don't do it, it's not you never learn it, I think.
So the same thing is like the Daniel, you learn of this thing where you use it in your BJJ class?
Yes, of course. I mean, everything I've learned from you, I never learned before. So the 6 core elements helped me a lot to understand more about my body, my mind, my breathing, and my chi flow, and the force flow, momentum. I've never done these things before, and the 6 core elements are or is the basic for the other classes. If you don't have the 6 core elements, you won't be able to understand what force flow is. And I learned a lot, and of course I use it in BJJ for me to breathe properly, to get along with the intra-abdominal pressure, which is a lot in BJJ. For example, when somebody gives pressure on me, you have to get along with it, unless you can breathe. This is a real stuff. So what you say is right.
So the bottom line is not say who is better than who. So Wing Chun can learn a lot from BJJ, and BJJ can learn what Wing Chun have, BJJ do not have too. That's the way how the next generations of martial arts are supposed to be. So everybody can learn from other people what we don't have,
right,
to make it better. Right. So that is what the notions of my video. Hopefully that people understand what I'm trying to present here. That's why I say it's an education. It's not about who is number one. We cannot afford to go back to those Mui, Jisim, and then my story, my grandmaster, to validate things. Because bottom line, those things cannot validate the identity in the history, cannot validate the technical in the history. Okay, good for today. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye. Thanks you.
Bye.
Thanks, Hendrik. Bye-bye.